Hi everyone, my name is Mark Ryan, and I'm the Medical Director of the Weight Loss Management and Wellness Program here at Pensacola, Florida. Today I'm going to talk about fatigue, and a very common complaint with a lot of different causes, but one interesting case that I saw in follow-up just last week, and this was a 50-year-old woman who came to me initially after not having seen a physician for several years and complaining of just overwhelming fatigue, lack of energy. She was working as a school teacher with children at home. She said that really it was a struggle every day to not fall asleep in the middle of teaching lessons. And then when she got home, she was so fatigued that after she made dinner for her family, she went straight to bed. No energy to even grade papers on most nights, certainly no energy to do any exercise, and even struggling to get some of the household work that she struggled with to do on a day-to-day basis. And so, having not seen a physician for several years, the concern in my mind was something like a very severe anemia, diabetes, or some other endocrine pathology. In her mind, she was really focused on the changes that she had gone through with menopause. And talking with her, she really reported very, very poor sleep, so that she would get up 5 to 6 times a night, often drenching with sweat, and that this was really a very big cause of her not being able to have any energy during the day. She said she would wake up in the morning still feeling exhausted, and then from there until she went back to bed, it was just a struggle to stay awake. Oftentimes during the middle of the day, having to consume energy drinks or sweet treats just to give her some amount of energy. Certainly that was associated with progressive weight gain during the same time period. And so we initially started off with a battery of blood tests, and we looked at her blood counts. She was not anemic. Her metabolic profile showed actually a very normal lipid profile. Her blood sugar was normal. There was no diabetes. Her thyroid function was normal. And certainly at 50 years of age, she had gone through menopause. She had really no estrogen left, very low progesterone levels. And so that was one abnormality that we addressed early on. And so after weighing the risks and the benefits of hormone therapy, she went to see a hormone specialist and started on hormone therapy. Came back to me 3 months later, and her hormone levels were all normal. She felt better, the sensation of less anxiety, less sensation of depression, but still no energy. And she reported that her sleep was still disrupted 4 to 5 times a night by waking up. And so we looked more closely at her sleep pattern. And I asked her, do you snore at night? Does your husband tell you that you stop breathing intermittently throughout the night? And as often as the case, she reported that her husband was like a log and was unable to really be much use in terms of monitoring her sleep pattern at night. So we looked at her risk factors for sleep apnea, and this was a lady who had a neck size of 15 inches, which is average. Her waist size was 29 inches, again average. Her height and weight for her age were in the average range. So she wasn't really at high risk for sleep apnea to begin with, but this consistent pattern of waking up 5 to 6 times a night led us to want to do a sleep study. And her initial reaction was that she did not want to do a sleep study because she didn't want to do a CPAP machine or use a CPAP machine. And I said, well, first of all, we have to do a diagnostic test to figure out what's going on, and then we can talk about therapy. So she ended up doing a home sleep study and found that 15 times an hour, her oxygen levels were dropping below 88% for more than a minute, or she would stop breathing for 30 seconds at a time, which is an alarming rate if you think about the effect that would have both on your quality of sleep and then ultimately being the nature of her not having any energy during the day. Sure, her brain, although she was sleeping and her eyes were closed, was waking up 15 times a night trying to spark her to breathe. And so we ultimately worked with a company to fit a mask for her that was comfortable, allowing her to sleep comfortably. And I just saw her last week, and she came in after having used the CPAP machine for 6 weeks and said she felt much, much better. She was now able to go through the course of the day with only 1 energy drink as opposed to 3. She had decreased a lot of the sweet snacks that she was using throughout the course of the day, and now felt like she had the energy to actually start into a walking program with the energy cooling down. And so, again, one case of fatigue that we see on a very common day-to-day basis, and ultimately want to go through the different factors that can contribute to fatigue. As always, I want you to stay active, to stay healthy.